All right, now let's proceed to trying to actually set up and solve a word problem using equations. Okay? So on these, don't want a guess and check approach. The whole point is solving word problems by using equations. Okay? So the first step was to just do a quick read. And as you do, what you're trying to get out of it is the information you're given and what you're looking for. So here we're trying to find a number. All right, so choose a variable, like let x be the number you're looking for. And you need to, sometimes you'll have more than one variable or and all, so it helps to remind yourself what you let your variable stand for. All right, now what I'm reading is this sentence. Let me blow this up a little bit. So the sentence says 8 times a number plus 3 is 27. Now, this process works really well on this type where all you're doing is trying to translate from English to math. Is find the word is, okay, and write it down. Then, do you see how on the right-hand side of that is the number 27? On the left-hand side is a phrase just like what we were working on in the earlier questions. So we're going to try to translate that phrase, okay? So let me get to where I can be closer to that sentence. So I'm going to let x be the number. Okay, so x is the number. Then I'm going to look for the word is, and that's going to be my equal sign. Now in this problem, it turns out to have just a 27 on the right, so let me go ahead and write that down. But now I'm trying to translate the phrase. And what I wanted you to do is look for where they refer to the number and think, I'm going to let x be the number. Now you back up until you hit an operation word, and you see how you get 8 times a number. That would be 8x. All right, and then as you look at it, you notice that there's another operation word. Now it says 8 times a number plus 3, so we're going to have to add 3 to that. So start where they refer to the number, okay? So start with the number being x, okay? So the number is where you start, and that's your x. Now you back up and get 8 times that, so that's 8x. And then you go and get the rest of it, which is 8x plus 3. Now, once you get that, all you got to do is solve using what we did earlier. So if I have plus 3, I'm going to subtract 3. That's going to give me a 24 on the right and an 8x on the left. And then I'm going to get rid of the 8 that's being multiplied by x by dividing by 8 and getting x equals 3. Okay? Then to check it, go to the words of the problem. If the number is 3, 8 times it would be 24. If I add 3 to that, I'd get 27, and that's what I'm supposed to get. So kind of go back to the words of the problem as you read through it and make sure that it seems to follow the words of the problem. Okay. So this type of problem is not my favorite type. It's kind of just contrived, but they're just trying to get you practice setting up an equation and solving it. Okay. Now, sometimes things like this come from something being in context, and those I like a little bit better because it gives you a point for why you might want to do this. All right, so we're going to let the number be x. Here's the word is. This one also just has a number on one side, so I can say equals 20. Okay, but then when I go to translate this is a phrase over here. I look for where it refers to a number. And I think, okay, I want my number to be x. Now leave yourself some room on both sides of that. Because what you're going to do is you're going to back up now until you hit an operation word. So now you need twice a number. That would be 2x. Okay. Now you're going to need the difference of twice the number and 8, difference means subtraction. So I'm going to need the difference of twice the number, which was 2x, and 8. So I'm going to need 2x minus 8 to equal 20. Okay. Now watch it. If the problems sometimes in homework might have you translate, so like an answer might be 2x minus 8 equals 20, and then they'll ask you to go on and solve, or maybe they just want you to go ahead and solve. But on paper, you should be writing the equation like we did. Then going through the solution process, like on this one, getting 2x equals 28, and then dividing by the 2 to get that x had to have been 14. Okay. All right, let's try this one. Sounds like the same thing. Twice the difference of a number and 8 is 20. Find the number. So let's say it says use n for the number. Okay, what letter they tell you to use doesn't matter. All right, then read what it is you're trying to translate and look for where the equal sign would be located. So this one also just has 20 on the right-hand side. Now go to where you see the variable referred to, because we're getting ready to translate this phrase over here, right? This whole phrase over here on the left. Okay, so when we go to translate that, we're going to start with where they talk about the number. Let's let that be x. Now back up. You need the difference of a number and 8, which would be x minus 8. Then back up and grab twice that. You need twice that. Twice that. So it's going to have to be 2 with parentheses around the x minus 8. So it wasn't like the previous one. Okay. The order was different. Both of them involve doing twice something. Both of them involve finding the difference, but you had to read carefully, and I'm trying to give you a strategy for successfully doing that by starting by where they refer to the number, then backing up until you hit your first operation word. So then you'd have x minus 8, and then backing up until you see that you need twice that. Now once you've done that, you're just going to be solving. So I need to distribute the 2 to get rid of the parentheses. Don't forget that means 2 times x, positive 2 times negative 8. And then I need to add 16 to get a 36 on that right-hand side. And that would equal, at this point, a 2x. And I need to get rid of the 2. So I'm going to divide by the 2 on both sides. And I get x equals 18. Okay. All right, let's try this guy. All right, this one says, twice the sum of a number and 6 is 2 more than 3 times the number. At that point, I'm not really trying to hang on to any piece of that. I'm really doing a quick read, looking for what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to find the number, right? So let's suppose we decided to let n be the number. Then I'm going to look more carefully at this sentence. And I'm going to look for where my equal sign would be. So I have twice the sum of a number and 6 is 2 more than 3 times the number. That is where my equal sign will be. Okay. Now I'd like not to have this right there. So I'm going to see if I can just move that out of the way. Let's see if I can backspace it. Nope. I was trying to change the formatting or something, so I had a little more room. But anyway, that's all right. So we're going to go back to that sentence right there. I'm just going to erase it, actually, so that it's not sitting there. And I'll just abbreviate it. We're finding the number. We're letting that be n, okay, because I want to have room to translate right below this. So when I look at the phrase over here on the left, twice the sum of a number and 6, I'm going to start with number. That's x. Back up and grab, I need the sum of that and 6. Sum, that means addition. Okay. Then there's another operation word that says I need twice that. That would be 2 times that quantity. Okay. Then leave that side alone. Like, I don't really need to hang on to everything they told me on both sides. Just leave that alone now and go to the other side and work on that phrase. 2 more than 3 times the number, so I'm going to start with the number. Okay. Then I'm going to back up and it says 3 times that. Then I'm going to back up. And it says I need 2 more than that. 2 more than that. 2 more than 20 would be 22. You're just adding 2 more than something. Okay. And then my job is to solve that equation. So I'm going to be distributing 2 times x plus 2 times 6. And then these variables terms are on opposite sides. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And I wind up with a negative 1x plus 12 equals just 2. Right? And that's that negative 1x. If you had just written negative x, that would have been okay. But I think having that negative 1 there explicitly might be helpful. Now I'm going to subtract 12. And that's going to get me to the point where I have the negative x, negative 1x sitting there. Okay. I got rid of that 12, and then on the right-hand side, 2 take away 12 would be negative 10. And so here I have a negative x, or a negative 1 times x. So I can divide by negative 1 and get x equals negative 10 divided by negative 1 would be positive 10. And that should be my answer. All right, now this just that reminder that when you're checking a word problem, don't substitute it into the equation because you might have been wrong. Try to go back to the words and see if you can think through using the words of the problem. So let me get some room here. We'll do that on this one. All right, so my number's 10. So I'm going to go through this. So twice the sum of a number and 6. If my number's 10, the sum of the number and 6 would be 16, and twice that would be 32. Okay. And then if my number were 10, 3 times that would be 30, and then I need 2 more than that, which would be 32. Those are equal. I know I'm right without waiting for them to check it. Okay. All right, I want to do one more that's in a little more in context. So here we have 2 baseball teams, and there's a free agent pitcher that they're wanting to sign. Someone informed the general manager of a team that another team has made an offer, and the player's agent said, double that offer and add an extra $1 million per year, and you'll be in our league, meaning you'll be close to what we're looking for. Okay. So if we think of X being what they wanted us to find, which was what was the offer by the rival team, we could let X be the offer by the rival team. And then we could work on taking this part right here, double that and add an extra $1 million per year, and you're in our league. So if we doubled that, that would be 2x, and added an extra $1 million. Instead of writing $1 million, I'm going to write 1. And just remember that's in millions. And that means the x will be in millions as well. Okay. Then 2x plus 1 represents doubling that offer and adding an extra $1 million. And we know that the player is trying to get 18 million per year. So if we took 2x plus 1 equals 18 and solved it, that would tell us what the other team had offered. So they offered a little more room. I'm going to divide by 2 next. Let's see if I can get it to give me some more space. No. Oh, well, let me just move it up. So here I had 2x equals 17, and now I'm dividing by 2 on both sides. And that's going to tell me that the rival team's offer was 8.5. And remember, that's in millions. Okay. So that one team offered 8.5 million. The other team's trying to decide what to offer. They know they need to double that, so they need to do 2 times that and add another million to get to what that player was really looking for. So see how that would lead to the 18 million that the player was looking for.